Thank you for tuning into our podcast. We are coming to you from Chicopee, Massachusetts. I am your host, Carrie, and joining me is Holyoke's very own local historian and creator of the historical tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Cumming. And he offers both public and private tours, as well as presentations of the local canal systems, reservoirs, cemeteries, and churches, as well as various parks and streets in Holyoke, South Hadley, and Chicopee, Mass. Now you actually lead these tours and give these presentations yourself, is that correct?
That's right. This one has a vast trail system to walk over.
Okay, and so today he'll be educating us on the Mount Holyoke Range.
Now, Mount Holyoke Range is vast, many square miles, and the land, most of the land is now held by conservation societies, land trusts, by the public, by Massachusetts, by South Hadley, by Granby and Amherst. And the part we're going to talk about is the part that's owned by the Conservation Commission. And the Conservation Commission owns about 355 acres out there, which is about 8/10 of a square mile. But that's only a tiny part, and it's broken up to 5 parcels, this Conservation Commission land. And there are trail systems out there. Some go through the conservation land, but mostly the trails out there are on all these public lands. And you can take the Monadnock Trail, for instance, and you can take a trail from Lithia Springs upwards. You can take trails from the side of Route 47 upwards the mountain. And you can take Bear Mountain Trail towards the south and walk over from the Notch Visitor Center up into Mount Norwatic. And the trail system is just absolutely vast up there. But again, whether or not it touches South Hadley Conservation Land is a moot point. It's just there to enjoy.
So what is the major reason this Mount Holyoke Range Conservation Land exists?
Okay, it exists because people want to conserve the entire mountain. And the entire mountain is from Mount Holyoke over to Bear Mountain, and in between is the Seven Sisters. And then on the other side of Route 116, it's Mount Norwatic out to Harris Mountain. It's a vast conservation land. And it belongs to a lot of groups. So it exists because people do not want to have buildings put up on the side of that mountain. And about 40 years ago, someone said they wanted to build condominiums up there. And it started a vast movement to get all this land up here put into public or land trust societies. And about 95% of it is. Only a tiny fraction of it is still private. And even that, you can never build on it. You can never get a road up there. And so success, they cannot build on this mountain, which is a great thing. And hopefully this movement will continue and improve, and you get more trails, and they are building more trails. 10 years ago, they built a trail from Bear Mountain down. Now, along the way, we're going to consider some of the details about it, how it can be improved. But one thing I want to mention is that the life forms up here are incredible. You can hear all kinds of birds, see all kinds of birds imaginable up here. You can see all kinds of mammal life and insect life. And there's lots of trees up there, of course. Pine trees are prevalent, but there's a lot of oaks. And as you go down to the bottom, a lot of maples. So you get to see a lot of growth, and in some points you get to see succession because some of this land was just given over, about 40 years ago. And you get to see birches as they change over the land. Birches succeed, and then it starts to be filled with other kinds of life forms.
So quickly before we continue with the rest of our interview, just to fill our listeners in, if you want to find out more information or sign up for any of his various tours, you can check out his website at holyokecanaltour.org. And there he has both videos of the various stops along each tour, and also past and present photos of the historical sites throughout as well. And if you're interested in setting up a private tour, you can email him directly at bobcat4214, and they are perfect for fun and educational outdoor activities for the whole family, or for your group parties, especially those special occasions and get-togethers. And they are also good just for getting outdoors for the day. So getting back to our interview, give us some of the formal details about the Mount Holyoke Range Conservation Land.
All right. Where can you get in here where can you park? Well, the best places of all is the Notch Visitor Center, which is off of Route 116, is a very big parking lot, and it's a visitor center. So during daylight hours, you stop in there and get trail maps, information, use the restrooms, and there you can go off towards the east, and about 6 miles later, come on Harris Mountain Road. And so that's another entry point. But there's also a Robert Frost Trail. There's trail from Amherst. There's trails from Granby's Bachelor Street. You can get up and in. There are trails that are made just for mountain bike riders. Now, also at the Dutch Visitor Center, you could go towards the west if you want, go up Bear Mountain, and then 6 miles later, you come out to Mount Holyoke or the Skinner State Park. Now, there is another access point. You can get up from Route 47 up onto the top of the mountain. There's a big parking lot near the base, and some people park there and walk up, or you can go further up all the way up the mountain and then go off on into side trails. And it continues west towards Connecticut River. It goes to east to Seven Sisters. So there's lots of ways to travel around this mountain, getting at different points. All of them are incredible sights, and you cannot do it in one day. So I've walked every trail up there, but I did it in multiple days, and it took a long time, but I learned so much about all the life forms up there.
What can be done to improve this conservation land?
Well, keep buying up the land till you get 100% of it, and keep making trails, and I bet another one will be made someday. They're hard to make, but they're great to make, and trails are always unique, and for that reason, they should constantly look for opportunities to build new ones. There could be one built from, for instance, the southern end of Hadley up into the mountain. I don't know if there's any there yet, but all the other regions around have plenty of trails up into this mountain. And of course, you can always improve the experience for people, and the Notch Center could improve. For instance, have a little family trail. I think they have one, but they can have many more because family loves to go up there. The Skinner State Park is great because they have so many beautiful, wonderful opportunities every day.
Thank you, Robert, for educating us on your tours, and we want to thank our listeners for tuning in. And you can also tune into a large selection of our other podcasts and much more at his website. Again, that's holyokecanaltour.org. And again, you can email him directly for private tours or to inquire about anything else at bobcat4214 at yahoo.com. And be sure to keep an eye out for his upcoming 2024 season tours and more as they become available.